Welcome to Wintergatan Wednesdays, everyone. Today we are going to machine some drum bodies like this one. The drum bodies marks the start of the making of the music instruments for the Marble Machine X, something I've been longing for, and I'm quite sure you've been longing for it as well. This is an excessive use of hold-down screws. I want this stock to be really flat. We are gonna machine this really thin. 4mm birch plywood, 1, 2, 3 layers. I want to machine away the top 2 layers and only be left with the bottom thin layer. So kick drum, snare drum, long grain, and then snare drum and kick drum with the grain in the other direction. And yes, I could have bought veneer, but I didn't have time to wait for that, so I made my own. Just proud of 1mm. So the stock is ready, and to make it easier to bend these into a tight radius without having them cracking up, you can use heat or water, and that gave me an idea, and I experimented a little bit with my batch of dragon tears. And dragon tears has the perfect combination of both heat and water. So now I need something to hold these down. Here I'm making the snare drum blank by gluing together 2 pieces of 18mm plywood, which makes the snare drum body 36mm high. 18, 36, 40, 44, 62, 80mm. That's the exact height of the kick drum. Okay, time for the fun part. I have a heavy-duty iron here. I tried filling the iron with water at first, but using dragon tears I get much more power in the steam. Okay. Okay, the middle layer of the snare drum has its grain going the other direction. I'm gonna drench this thing in wood glue. So I put this joint on the back side, put this joint 180 degrees on the other side. Yes, thank you. Okay, things are starting to slide together nicely. Kick drum glue up. It was messy, but I think I actually got the job done. While the glue up from the kick drum and the snare drum has been drying up, the first 2 layers, I have been making the cam tool paths for this, the rims. So let's start the spindle. The end mill is clogged up. I'm gonna redo the tool path with a much smaller step down. I think I was a little greedy on the step down value. Okay, second try. Hey, by the way, we are looking for an awesome video editor to work together with on some Wintergatan videos. If you are the Ronnie O'Sullivan of video editing, please check out the Google form in the link below. We would love to hear from you. Stardust. Hey! 1, 2, 3, and 4. So happy about these. I love them. I've been spending some time preparing this glue up. So this time I'm not going to use my fingers to apply the glue like I did on the last glue up, which probably makes it a little bit easier to work afterwards. Glue has been drying up overnight. Get some sun. This is a good fit. These blanks are machined to the perfect width. I have machined the veneer oversized so it's sticking out on this side and on this side. And now by just sanding the edge down to the side of the blank, we will get the perfect height of the drum body. I also think we will get a perfectly perpendicular cut. This sandpaper is gone. We've been using it for metal for too long. Oh, so that's what this tool does. That looks better. So we're back at my vertical lathe and I'm gonna sand this up to 1000 grit. I have ordered guitar lacquer because I'm actually gonna finish these pieces. It's the first time you will ever see me finish anything. So the real drum heads are under development, so I'm gonna use paper right now just to give an idea of the final look. Whenever you see me doing this kind of knolling, you can be sure that I'm quite pleased with the results of what I'm making. So you can see how modular the design of the drums are. The inserts that are going to hold the contact microphone and the real drum heads, these are only dummy paper versions, are being 3D printed on the carbon printer by Dr. Phil in the US. And these will fit right inside the plywood structure you see me build in this video. And the triangular space that you see there will hold the contact microphones. Phil designed these and he made the position for the contact microphone adjustable so we can tweak the sound of these. I don't have them in France yet, and this will be a subject for an upcoming video, but now you can see a little bit where this is going. Here's a visualization of the layers of the printing, and I want to say a big thanks to Phil from Wake Forest University for doing an awesome job on these drum inserts. Thanks, Phil. So there's a round cavity, and the screw head sinks down lovely like that. But the second ring has hex holes. So these hexagonal holes are intended to hold the lock nuts in place. But I've cut these holes with a cutter with 4mm radius, which means that I couldn't get into the corners of the hexagonal shape. I'm going to grind off a little bit on the corner. That's perfect. That, my friends, is satisfying. I made all this from scrap stock I had lying around. I didn't order any material. These are a little bit thinner than these. That was not in CAD, but I'm okay with that. So the recess here, you can see the drum head fits into the recess and gets clamped by the edge of the drum body. Like so. So I really want to explain for an audience how the Marble Machine X works, and everyone recognizes this to be a drum. There's no confusion about what music instrument this is. So designing it as a miniature version of a drum helps the understanding of the Marble Machine X when you see it in action. That looks so much like a snare drum. Awesome! I love them so much. Such a revenge from the first Marble Machine. Wait, I have it here. Let's go compare. Also, when you stack them up like this, it looks like you're preparing for the tour. The things you have in your shed, right? Let's go have a look at these drums. Conan O'Brien's production team emailed and asked me if I wanted to come and play on Conan O'Brien with this Marble Machine right after we released the first video. And I had to say no because it didn't work. So no thanks, Conan O'Brien. My machine doesn't really work so well. So this was the kick drum. This is the kick drum now. Thank God it looks like a difference. So this was the snare drum over here. And this is the snare drum now. I think this is a brilliant example on how much better the Marble Machine X is compared to the first machine. This kind of progression is actually happening everywhere in the machine. Yes, I've learned something. It only took me 3 years. Conan O'Brien, you can resend that email. Look, my fig trees. You don't see anything. So, kick drum, snare drum, and now we need a sizzle cymbal. Ta-da! It's a 10-inch splash, and if you know me, I'm a little bit against splash cymbals. I think Daft Punk overused them on their wonderful Random Access Memories record. And it has a really dark sound for being a splash. And I actually want to try to debrand this cymbal. So when you're debranding your mini sizzle cymbals, you might want to try Dragon Tears if you have at home. And look at that shine. Kick drum, snare drum, sizzle cymbal, but we miss our hi-hat. Ta-da! Nick Householder, it's a YouTube channel, who found these mini hats for me. And they are from Lance's The Symbol project, which is another YouTube channel. Hello Martin, enjoy your new mini hi-hats, Nick. These are super cool, but up front it's not the sound I'm after. I'm gonna make a temporary holder so we can hold these drums on the machine upstairs. Just like you, I'm impatient to hear and see this actually playing. There's a lot of steps before we reach that point. It's just a bombastic machine. Aren't these drums to die for? I'm so happy about them. They look so cool. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck with everything you do and see you on the next Wintergatan Wednesdays.